Welcome to Sister Science Stories. I'm Jill Novak. I am an Ayurveda health counselor and yoga educator. Here at Sister Science, we explore how a strong connection to your inner wisdom is essential to your well-being. We're blending the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda and yoga with the demands of modern life, honoring the whole time this deep connection to ourselves, to the natural world around us, and the divine. In each episode, we dive into lifestyle choices, mindsets, patterns that shape how we live, helping you align with your true self. Whether it's movement or sleep, nourishment, energy management, ancient wisdom has solutions for us. We just need to listen. This podcast is here to open your awareness to what holistic healing can look like. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale, let go of anything that needs to let go, and dive into this juicy stuff.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome, Noah Bolton, my singer-songwriter neighbor, media producer, working through one of the central themes of life around how to do adulting without letting go of the play. That's sort of what you're working with right now. This idea that we have to watch. We have to have some sort of signal in ourselves that tells us when we're out of balance, when our compass is broken. And for you, you've told me that you know that something's off, out of balance, not working properly when you stop singing and dancing. Tell me more.
Yeah. So, there's been a lot of different periods of my life where I'm very much expressing through singing and just moving my body. Feeling really loose and relaxed. And I'm just kind of going with whatever's going on. I'm not thinking a whole lot, and I'm just doing what feels blissful and good and free. And then I usually, in the past, will hit a wall. And I reach this wall and I'm like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be doing this. Or I'm supposed to be like, I'm not supposed to be focusing on this right now. This can wait for later. I don't need to be like expressing myself this way. I can put this off for another time. I have to deal with more important things. I need to make more money. Or like, I need to have a better job. I need to, do the things that everyone tells you is the most important, and getting in my head about that of like, really constantly trying to think about what the best thing to do is and putting a lot of effort into that. And I can almost feel it like my awareness transfers. Like when I'm singing and like dancing and moving in a free way, I can feel it in my body where I'm aware of everything and it's very relaxed and I'm very present, but then like when that awareness transfers, I almost forget about the rest of this and I become like stiff, and then like I just feel like this like bobblehead like floating around. Like I forget about my body and what it feels like to be human. I just feel like this storm of ideas and beliefs and pressures and anxieties in my head, and then I forget about, oh wait, I'm like a human.
Gosh. It's funny the way you're talking right now, because I'm just relating it to the stages of life in Ayurveda. And it's like we go through these transitions. And so the first stage of life is the stage of life when you're in your body. It's called the kapha stage of life. And it's where we are in that place where everything can be around that expression of self in a really free and easy way, the way you're describing. And then the transition to the pitta stage of life starts to bring in passion and drive and motivation, and sort of like you need to do something. There's an action, a right action that pitta's sort of starting to elevate in you. So in some ways, what you're describing is just the absolutely natural transition stage of life wise from kapha to the pitta stage of life. And yeah, like that is the way you've described it. It's almost like beautiful and normal how we're we're losing attachment, or we're losing capacity to be in that body state. And the pitta is around our fire. It's around like, oh, like what do I want to do with this life? It's around the time of life when we're in creation mode, creating our careers and our lives and our families and our homes and building our life. So there's a lot of real naturalness in there. And yet we're learning in our world right now that it's almost like we've gone too far. We let go too much. We let go too much of the body, and we just stay up here in I love the way you described it as bobblehead. Just like the body's inanimate all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And everything's happening in the brain. Everything's happening in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gosh. So you're trying right now to create a paradigm for yourself as you go into this pitta stage where you don't lose embodiment, where you stay connected to your body.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like you have to have that effort and that drive to create something, but it doesn't have to be the thing that everyone's telling you should create, right? So it's like, yeah, my goal is like, okay, how do I create this life that I can embody this way of living, that I'm not sacrificing this experience for just living in my head and trying to think all the time about what the exactly right thing to do is. I'm just trying to create this landscape where I can be free to express whatever I want to do, you know? And obviously there's sacrifice and effort that goes into it. You know, you're either sacrificing what you want for security, or you're just sacrificing safety for freedom sometimes.
Right. And so you're trying to strike that balance where you aren't compromising pieces of yourself that are essential to the journey. Mm-hmm. And you're not letting go of that essence of you. It's like you're not sacrificing you to, you know, the capitalistic, materialistic ways of our, you know, I'm going to say failing culture. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to move through it in a different way, which, like, we feel it. It's necessary right now. It's what we've talked about on our last podcast together. It's that blending of the masculine, feminine energy. You need the structure and the container that will hold your life, but then you need enough room. Like you said, you use the word landscape, but it's almost like that word is for the flow, for the vision, for the opportunity to move through that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you notice happens to you when you stop singing and dancing?
Yeah. Like I know first thing is like I probably don't sleep as good.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll be tossing and turning, you know, thinking like about what I need to be doing and having all this anxiety, and my body will start to get tight, you know. I know like maybe my posture is worse, like I'll start slouching over, just like really in my head, forgetting about this body that I'm living in. You know, I probably start like, I'm not as light, not as much humor is happening in my life. Things
Yeah.
are more serious. I can be like all or nothing type of person.
Yeah.
So
So do you use those cues from your body? Lack of sleep, anxiety, tight body, you catch your reflection in a mirror, notice your posture, or your humor and your lightness disappearing. Do you use those as nudges, as points of awareness, like that you can say to yourself, oh no, you're slipping? Is that how you see those things?
yeah, in a way, yeah. Like I understand that we're humans and like not everything is gonna be light and fun all the time, and you're not always gonna have the energy to be like, this jolly person who's singing. But like singing and dancing can be an expression of all emotions.
Yeah.
It can be an expression of sadness, it can be an expression of anger or frustration or happiness or whatever. But when that goes away, I feel like I'm trying to control that. I'm trying to like control the outcome in a way. I don't know if I'm going on the right track here.
It makes sense though, because it's like, I think that this happens to all of us. Like I do. I think we've got a trajectory that starts to go on in our body when we are losing connection to that essence, to our body wisdom. And it's prevalent in our society because we prioritize everything to do with our intellectual wisdom. And so what you're describing right now is something that is like a human condition, and specifically one we notice in our culture. So what do you do, like, when you notice it? Because I think this is the thing, is that we can let ourselves continue to slide, continue to slide. But when you have a little cue that you can offer yourself, and you can offer yourself, like, at the end of every day, was there singing and dancing? In whatever your definition, like you said, it can hold all emotions. But can you check in on yourself and use that as a cue to say, oh, I'm not in balance right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I'll notice those things and I just kind of will try to bring myself into my body. That's kind of the whole thing, and just letting go of the attachments to the outcome and just bringing myself back into my body of like, okay, just like, I don't know, hum a little tune or like, go for like a walk outside and just come back to this experience. And maybe it's like going and inviting a friend over to do nothing serious. You're just like hanging out, trying to have a laugh. I don't know, maybe sing a song together or something. Anything that like is bringing you back into your body and like just doing things that aren't like striving towards a goal.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It's just something that's bringing you here and now to enjoy your human experience.
Yeah. And there's something about that our conditioning has taught us is non-productive.
Mm.
And there's a lot of external voices around, like, you got to let go of that. You have to get serious. You have to buckle down. You have to let go of these fantasies or whatever. And yet it can be the thing that allows all those areas of our life to be successful, so that when we can stay grounded in our body, the way the ideas flow through the bobblehead are actually clear and focused, and motivated. So can you describe that? Because I think what we're trying to express is this idea that it may not have perceived productive value to have a hangout night where you're just singing songs and playing your guitar with your buddies, but there's something super valuable about it that allows, the productive side to flow accurately and efficiently in your life.
Right. Yeah, like I think about it as like, I heard this story one time of like, there was a fisherman and he was fishing and he caught a fish for the day for his family for dinner. And then there was a businessman who came up to him and was like, oh, it's so early in the day already. You can keep fishing and catch even more fish, and then you can sell them and make all this money. And then you can be rich, and then you can, like, relax with your family after that all, and, like, you'll have this money and stuff. And the fisherman was like, well, why do I have to do that? I can just stop now and do that right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we do these things in pursuit of this end goal, and a lot of the time the end goal can be just done right now if we let go.
Yeah. The end goal is available to us right now if we just let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think about that. I'm like, oh, I'll make all this money, and then I'll, be like, I'll be rich and free, and I can do whatever I want, and then I can, like, write more songs. And then it's like, okay, well, I don't have to wait for that. I can just do that right now. Like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, all the time I'm putting into stressing and trying to grind myself to dust, and I could just take a moment and balance things out, do what I need to do, but then also take that time to just do the thing I actually want to do right now. Like, I don't have to wait till I'm rich and have all this time to hang out with my friends or go for a long walk or see my family and write a song. Like, I can do that right now. Like, you get what you need, and then do what you're supposed to do as a human being, whatever that is in this moment for you.
So how do you go about striking that balance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, eh?
That's the thing.
I feel like patience is a big thing to understand that balance for me.
Yeah.
Of like, not everything has to happen right now. Like, not all the projects I have that are gonna make me money and whatnot have to be done and happening right now. And like, if I'm just patient about it and things are unfolding as they should, like, I can understand that things take time, and it'll all unfold as long as I keep taking the steps.
There's something in that patience that's attached to attachment, letting go of the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your patience is for the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also speaking really Ayurvedically again when you talk about you just need to do the steps. So we talk about in Ayurveda, just you have to do the practices that keep you well connected. Because when you're well connected, it's almost like there's a serendipity happening where the productivity stuff just gets to happen because you've done X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. And each of us, it's like our life challenge to figure out what's your X, Y, Z? What fills your cup so that you're living life from a really full resourced cup? Because when you can find that spot, it's almost like that overflow is the place where you find the productivity, you find the resources, you find the structures you need, you find the, the richness and fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when you have, I mean, it's not like, not everyone's gonna touch this thing and be like, oh my God, this is it. This is like the one thing I need to do, and this is my purpose, and I'm just gonna do this. Like, for a lot of people, that never happens, and I feel like that's totally okay, and we kind of like can get that, I feel like, a little bit blurry, and now everyone's like, oh, you need to have a purpose, and you need to have this one thing that you do that is like this overarching thing that your entire life revolves around. But I don't know. I don't know if that necessarily needs to happen for everybody. If it does, that's great. But I feel like if you have like more, you have a direction that you want to live in, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that one thing, like you'll find the things that support that.
That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
We might not know what the thing is, but what are the things that support that?
Mm-hmm.
Because like Ayurveda has a whole sort of like, well, try these 10 things. But what are you finding are your things that help you support that, whatever that is in quotes.
Right.
For you, it's that singing and dancing. It's the piece that keeps the barometer where you are going in the right direction because you had that, you brought that experience into your days.
Right. Yeah, like, I mean, if I have no money and I can't afford to live, life's going to be pretty stressful, and I'm probably not going to care about singing a song or dancing a little dance. So, like, it's not that any, like, that stuff is immensely important. And I feel like it's approaching it in a way where it does support that. And yeah, it's like finding, okay, what's the most important to me? Okay, songwriting is one of them, a really important thing to me. Okay, my relationships are really important to me. Let's say being outside is really important to me. Whatever it is really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do that's going to allow me to do that the most and going to support that rather than subtract away from it? If no one had a job, they wouldn't have any money, and then they probably wouldn't be able to do anything at all, and eventually they'd probably die of starvation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, it's like, okay, I create a business that is going to, maybe it's not like the one thing that I would die for, but it's going to support the things I would actually like die for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And there's something about that I believe is really important right now because we've been led through like an industrial complex where we've almost had that embodied piece of us wrung out and said it's not important. And there's a reclamation of that happening in our world right now. And what you're describing is that the wrestling of trying to reclaim something that is rightfully ours. It's like our essence, our, the skill set and talents and the light that we are meant and allowed to bring to this world. And we don't have to do anything. We just have to be ourselves. And in being ourselves, that light gets to show up. And it's like what you're describing is finding the state where that's easeful. And you can sustain a life. You can sustain the passion because of whatever, structures you've put in place. So do you think at the end of your day, if you look at your checklist of things that you put on your to-do every day, you'd have songwriting, connect in with someone I love, like your relationships, and somehow be outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be 3 things that you'd put on your daily checklist.
For sure. Yeah. I'd say so. And move my body, like,
Yeah.
like
And
maybe
move.
Sweat every day.
Move and sweat.
Every day,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think another idea that I think about often is like, I never came up with this idea, but the idea of, are you living a life worth dying for? Like, would you die for your life that you're doing? Like, would you die for the things that you're living for? And the way you're living, would you die for that? It's kind of an interesting paradox.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But...
Like, it's so important to you.
Yeah.
You'd rather die than give it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I find it an interesting exercise to ask myself, okay, what I did today, would I die for this?
It's kind of a depressing question. How often do you get to say at the end of the day, yes?
I would die for that, yeah. And I feel like those are the things that are really most important. Like, would I die to stand on the hill of, I get to write songs? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would I die on the hill of, I'm going to go sit in a cubicle? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's, maybe you're not going to die for everything, but but I got kind of back to that thing of supporting elements. Like, does that thing support the thing you would die for? Mm-hmm. Like, you would die for your kids.
Yeah.
And you want to provide for your children, but the method that you use to be able to do that, you might not necessarily die for, but the outcome you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something in this conversation that I've found in my own life, that when I stay well committed to the things I do so that I can live a life that I would die for, there's almost like a flow that starts to happen that is on the side of my life that is sustaining me business-wise and creating income and building business. It's almost like when I stay committed over here to those embodied acts, there is a spillover in how the other side of life functions, and it feels more easeful. It doesn't feel like a grind. It doesn't feel like a hustle. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like something, that I'm compromising myself for. I don't know. It becomes more easeful over here on this side because of how I am in relationship over here.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I think to a conversation I had where it was a topic of work and your jobs, and a lot of people can find themselves in jobs where they feel like they're managing people or like babysitting people, and it feels like this burden and stuff like that, and they wouldn't, if you probably asked them, they wouldn't necessarily die on the hill of being a babysitter. Mm-hmm. To people, and that's in their language and their paradigm, the way they view things, that's how it is. But would you die to be on the hill of like being a good leader, being a good mentor, being someone who can lead people and show them the way, right? A lot more people would probably agree with that. Yeah. So then it's like, how do I, like you said, the spillover of that into the things that isn't so glamorous, per se, the way you frame that can change that a lot. Of like, instead of, okay, I'm a babysitter to all these people, oh, I am a leader and a mentor to all these people. Yeah. That changes things a lot in the way that you maybe approach it.
Yoga has something called the kleshas, which is the ways you cause your own suffering. And I think what you've just said there is like, you can be doing the exact same job, and in one way you're in it and it's suffering. Mm-hmm. Like it's babysitting in that story, in that metaphor. and you can show up another way and have it be more life purpose kind of stuff. So I think that is the sort of crossover we're talking about, is how do you bring your essence into the parts of life that, is where the productivity happens, I guess. Or, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like with you, with the idea of notice when you stop singing and dancing,
Mm-hmm.
because there will be probably a relationship where you're sinking down into life's becoming suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Life's becoming something that's not easeful, joyous, light. Yeah. Light and humorous. Yeah. Light and joyful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you notice a difference between the external voices that tell you what you should be doing and how that plays in, I don't know, this dichotomy that is just being human, and an internal voice? Like, where does the shoulds come from? Are they coming from the world and all the ways we've been conditioned, or are they coming from within?
Yeah, like in today's world, with the amount of information that we're access to, like, I don't know if you've ever heard the term like death by 1,000 cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like death by 1,000 voices,
Yeah.
with like 1,000 different people telling you what you should be doing in a day.
Yeah.
We have this like magic, all-seeing crystal ball that we carry around with us all the time, a phone,
Mm-hmm.
which is just shouting a billion different things at us and influencing our emotional state and our psychology 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
That's going to tie you in a knot. For sure. And I notice when I can put that down and really step away from that, man, the clarity and just ease I feel from that internal voice is much different. Like, I can feel so much more just love and patience for myself when I can look at my life just by listening to that internal voice inside.
Yeah. So you actually have your internal voice, when you're connected to it, is a really beautiful guide for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the external noise and overwhelm of that noise. I like how you said it changes my emotional state and my psychology. Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? And then it steals from us. Like, it steals our attention. It steals our awareness. And it's almost like our attention's become a commodity for someone else. Instead of being a resource for ourselves, our attention is harvested, stolen away for someone else to use, rather than us being able to reap the rewards of our own attention, of harvesting the crop, the jewels, when we keep our attention inward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just got back from a trip, like a hostel trip. I went into the mountains with no service for a couple of days. My phone died. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm purposely not going to charge this. And I spent like over 24 hours without touching a piece of technology.
Yeah.
I never felt so good.
Yeah.
I did nothing. I sat around the fire playing guitar for hours, and I've probably never played so much guitar in a day.
Did you hike into a lodge with your guitar?
Well, there was one there already.
Okay, good.
This place called Mosquito Creek.
Yeah.
But just I could feel my nervous system just like, it was like, just massive weight just like off of my shoulders. Like, I was surrounded by people the whole time, like real faces, real people, just real conversations with no technology. Anything outside of that room didn't matter because I didn't know about it. Nothing else mattered. I wasn't getting a notification from some random person. I wasn't getting a notification of what some person ate for breakfast on their Instagram feed.
Yeah.
Nothing outside of that space immediately. Do I have somewhere to sleep? Do I have something to drink? Do I have something to eat? Am I warm?
Mm-hmm.
Am I surrounded by people?
Yeah.
Once those things are checked, there's nothing else to do, really.
So you're like the way you're talking right now is that we need as a species to understand that there's times to be transactional, but there's times that we need to be relational. And when we shut off our phones, we shut off the transacting that we're doing with that little machine, we give ourselves the opportunity to come into relationship, to come into relation, not just with like the way you described the hostel, like the surroundings, the people, and yourself. So like when you were talking about how you felt, I think there's something in that feeling that as a species, as a human, we need to understand that we need access to that feeling often, many times a day.
Yeah, yeah.
And if we're not getting access to that feeling, the way you described it, we're missing something in our lives. Our compass is broken.
For sure.
And so there's practices, like I like that idea that you just took 24 hours and went, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I noticed, like, it's very obvious, like, the difference, like, of what that 24 hours filled.
Yeah.
And what I was missing in that. And because immediately when I got back and I was, like, back in it, I felt myself reaching for that feeling through the phone.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
That, like, connection piece, still, like, feeling connected to someone on a deep level, you know, that novelty, that, like, presence of some person. I was searching for that through the phone. But when I was there, I didn't feel any single, like, urge to look at a piece of technology because, like, the deep-rooted, like, needs that are in all of us were all checked.
Yeah, exactly. And there's something about it. So you have that 24 hours, you come home, and then you find yourself seeking it. But also, is there something about you come home, you are now well-resourced, you're living from a full cup.
Mm-hmm.
So do the task pieces of life feel more easeful when you come back, or does it feel like you're dropping back into grind?
In a way, like, yeah, I guess there's a little bit of that.
Tough.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like it's a little bit of both. Of, like, I feel full, like my cup is full, but in a way it's like, okay, I don't really want to do anything because it feels
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like my cup feels full, so I don't really want to do anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, you look at any species, any animal, when all their needs are met, what are they doing? They're nothing. They're sleeping.
They're resting.
They're going to
relaxing.
Yeah. So
gosh,
it's like there's part of me that's like, I need that deficiency to chase the carrot. You know what I mean? Like I kind of have to be a little bit hungry and a little bit starved to chase that carrot on a stick.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing, but that's what it is. At least that's what it's been for me, you know? So, like, when I meet all those needs, there's a part of me that's just like, I don't want to do anything at all. I just want to sit here and play my guitar.
Well, and if you look at indigenous cultures, it's exactly that way, isn't it? It's like they go do all the work. And when all those needs are met, exactly the same way as the fisherman story you told, he caught the fish so he could feed his family. And then he went back to enjoy this. Gosh, so it's paradigm shifting right from that get-go, because you're not going to this 24-hour, hostile experience that's off the grid or it's off technology in order to come back and be restored for the hustle. You know, it's funny. I hear people say this in the year review sometimes. It's like, I joined this program so that I would be better. I could get myself well enough to go back to what I was doing, whatever it was that was grinding me and crushing me. And then they get through the course and they're like, oh, I've realized that I've built too much love and compassion and trust in myself to ever throw myself back into that meat grinder. And so it's almost what you're describing right now. You're like, oh, I need to build a life for myself that doesn't involve me sliding my arm into the meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very difficult because every single, facet of modern society pretty much is telling you that you need to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, like your meeting your needs isn't enough.
Yeah.
You have to be the greatest. You have to, be number one.
Yeah.
You have to be the best, everything's like a competition. Yeah, it's like, but, like I ask myself, well, why? Quite often it's like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny how it's almost like we're trying to balance out the masculine, feminine to the transactional, relational. And then you just like the equal and opposite to competition is collaboration, is community. And so it's like, how do we move forward in this life so that we create equal room and space for relationship, for collaboration, for community, and so that we're not always over here chasing a carrot. We're all not always over here ticking the boxes, building something or submitting to something that we've believed that we should do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, that cycle of thinking and believing and that we need to do that. Like, if you just stop thinking so much, that comes pretty naturally for most of us.
I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, that would be amazing that it would come naturally to us.
Well, we were all kids at one point.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you aren't really thinking a whole lot.
Yeah. You're in your body. You're in your body.
And yeah, like, I feel like we lose a piece of that. Just enjoying whatever life is throwing at us, and experiencing it fully. We lose that somewhere along the way. And I think kind of returning to that childlike state in a way can be beneficial for a lot of us. I remember being a kid, I'd just sit around, look at the trees, sit in the grass. I wasn't thinking, I just remember feeling so relaxed and like present with whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
Digging in the dirt, You know, like I remember that so vividly, and it's so clear, and the feeling of that is so clear, and I can just see like moments of like how does that show up. You know,
Yeah.
like what is happening when I feel that same way I did when I was a kid,
Yeah.
running around in my backyard.
It's something that I admire about your generation because my kids are your age and I'm watching them navigate through life. And instead of buying in to the story they've been told of how they are supposed to adult, or perhaps you phrase it, instead of selling out to the ways that you've been told that you're supposed to adult, you're you're kind of questioning it all. And given what's going on in our world right now, rightfully so, because there's nothing about what's going on in the bigger picture that I think says, hey, come, like, if you come in this direction, here's a beautiful life for you. There's nothing in the picture of our current culture and world right now that's inviting you forward. It's almost like there's no carrot to chase. So you guys your generation is at this crossroads where you're like, it's clear that you're not doing things the way your parents did it. It's clear you don't have interest in stepping forward towards something that is just such a mess. Mm-hmm. So you guys are really at the edge of this new paradigm. You're at the edge of this new paradigm where it is the reclaiming of your own essence, the reclaiming of your own light, and all the things that past generations have been told to give up in service of, this machine. And you guys are just sitting at the edge of that going, why? Why would I? What are the benefits? And you're not seeing any. And so you're inventing a new way. And I think you alluded to the fact that it's not that hard if you let it. And so maybe that's where the invitation comes in, is that you're reclaiming something. Maybe you're not inventing something, but you're going back to a way that's built into this system of your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like, my perspective that we've been talking about, we're not inventing anything new. We're returning to our DNA.
Yeah. You're allowing a different intelligence to drive you, mm-hmm. rather than going to your bobblehead mind intelligence, yeah. to lead you. You're coming down into your body intelligence and your heart intelligence to lead you.
Yeah, it's that process of letting go,
Damn.
Letting go of if you just let go of everything, like you letting go of desire, letting go of tension, letting go of craving something else that's not craving something different than what you're experiencing. Mm. You can settle into that, like.
So there's a simplicity to the life you're looking for.
Yeah, like why does it have to be complicated?
Yeah, with full and beautiful relationships, with easeful flow, with lots of time for singing and dancing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could all use a little song and dance. Go for a walk. Go tell somebody you love them and give them a hug and, I don't know, have a cup of tea or something. I don't know.
But figure out what your equivalent is to your song and dance.
Yeah, not everyone feels like really called to that. That's okay. We all have different roles here.
Yeah. But come back to the thing that tells you that you are in your essence.
Yeah, the thing what makes you feel like a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
So.
So that's our wish for everyone today, is that they
Yeah.
can find their metaphorical or literal song and dance every day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good goal.
Yeah, it's a good goal.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sister Science Stories. In my favorite quote, Eckhart Tolle says, "Awareness is the greatest agent of change." I hope that being here opens up your awareness to a new way of knowing and thinking, a keen discernment, already creating change in you. The curiosity to experiment with new practices, it builds capacity and it grows your ability to live with intention, and this equates to good health. If you want support and community as you embrace this idea, drop into sisterscience.ca. Learn more and sign up for what supports the version of you ready and yearning to show up next. Change starts when you do. So don't wait to take this next step, because a juicy life is waiting.